Okay, so this is Mono Red Goblins. It is a tribal deck for Pauper, and it is quite an aggressive one, to be perfectly honest. It's very, very aggressive. There are a lot of cards that you will see in here that you will notice are very, very similar to, or are actually in decks like 8-Whack in Modern. So you have cards like Fenrir Street Denizen. It's a 1-mana 1/1. Nothing particularly surprising or magical here, but whenever another red creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So come turn 2, you can have 2 creatures out. This is a 3-power attacker. You can throw another couple of creatures out in the next turn, and there are ways to make multiple creatures come out at a time. For example, Bog War Marshal here. So it's quite nice. If we have a large board, the best way to break through for lethal usually is Goblin Bushwhacker. 1 red mana for a 1/1, and it's got kicker for a red, and whenever you kick it, when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. This is regularly seen in combo decks, in slow, or not slow, very fast, go wide, aggressive strategies as well. We have some interesting choices. We have actually got technically sort of goblin guides, sort of in this deck, in the form of Goblin Cohort and Mog Conscripts. So these are weird ones because Goblin Cohort is a 1-mana 2/2, and so is Mog Conscript. The difference is between these and Goblin Guide is that these can't attack the turn you play them, and they also can't attack unless you have cast a creature spell that turn. So that sounds like a huge restriction, but for 1 mana in a deck where we're basically almost all creatures, apart from the lands, it's a very minimal drawback. Very, very minimal drawback. You do have to bear it in mind, but with that said, these creatures are better 1-drops than most other decks in the format are. So being able to play around that little drawback, it's actually fine, to be perfectly honest. It's quite fine. Then we have, for removal, we have got 4 Lightning Bolt because, well, Bolt is legal. I mean, not much else to say about it. I love Mog War Marshal as well. Whacker's a beaut. Yeah, Leanne currently plays Rakdos Goblins in Modern, which was an upgrade from, or I could say it's probably a side grade from 8-Whack, because that was also a fantastic deck. Then in addition to this, so there are some tribal payoffs, quote unquote, because there are definitely payoffs that reward you for having multiple of a specific type of thing or whichever in this format, in this deck. For example, you've got Goblin Matron, which is a 3-mana 1/1, and when it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a goblin, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. So essentially, this is a 3-mana 1/1 that draws a card, and that card will always be another goblin. And there are a couple of different goblins that are particularly nice to pull up. For example, Sparksmith. Sparksmith is 1 and red for a 1/1 goblin, and it taps to deal X damage to target creature and X damage to you, but you're racing, you don't really mind too much, where X is the number of goblins on the battlefield. Now that accounts your opponent's goblins if they happen to have any, so it's a bit ridiculous. It can get out of hand, but this is generally how you would take out things like Ulamog's Crusher or Gurmag Angler, that kind of thing. Yeah, Matron's common. Matron was originally printed as common. Am I right in saying that? I don't think Matron was originally printed as common. I think it was printed at uncommon, but I think it was Vintage Masters had put it a common online. Possibly. Anyway, next up we have got Mog Raider and Goblin Sledder, which do the exact same thing. It has an activated ability of sacrifice a goblin, and target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So any of those little creatures that are about to get that you're attacking in chump attacking or whichever, you can just sacrifice them to pump another goblin instead. So these have a tendency to make combat quite awkward for our opponent. And then in terms of finishers, we have a couple of interesting ones. First of all, our tribal one, Goblin Grenade. 1 red mana, sorcery, additional cost to cast this, sacrifice a goblin, deal 5 damage to any target. It's pretty decent. Mog War Marshal is best friends with this. We have 1 Goblin Heel Cutter because it's a 3-power attacker that causes a falter effect every single turn if you want, which is pretty good. And then finally we have 2 Fire Blast. It's 4 red for an instant, which I can pretty much guarantee we won't be casting at full cost. But instead, you can sacrifice 2 mountains rather than pay the spell's mana cost and deal 4 damage to any target. We have 15 mountains and 2 Forgotten Caves in case we happen to flood a little bit, because this deck is incredibly. If we change by, if we sort by CMC, you will see we have 31 1-drops in the deck. 31. We're not casting these for their actual cost. We're not casting these for the actual cost. So technically, the most expensive thing is Goblin Matron, and we have 2 of them. So, and then in the sideboard is very robust, very straightforward. We have Silver Glystaff, good for racing, other aggressive decks. 1 mana for an equipment that has equipped creature gets +1/+0, and whenever it dies, you gain 3 life. So we're going to be able to sacrifice goblins, like we said, with the 8 different sacrifice outlets and all that kind of stuff, or through the goblin grenades and stuff. So it's ridiculous, like how much life you can actually gain from this. We then have 4 Electrickery, because we will probably lose against other go wide small decks. We need to be able to fight against them on that kind of axis, and Electrickery really helps with that. Yeah, it's a frighteningly low curve. Really low and scary. 3 Gorilla Shaman, because these are insane against Affinity. 1 mana to blow up a land. 1 mana Stone Rain's pretty decent against them. And then we have 4 Red Elemental Blast, because, well, we're in red and we can afford to run 4 of them, so that's sweet. And then finally we've got 2 Smash the Smithereens. For this is probably a bit better to bring in against the likes of Tron and stuff than Gorilla Shaman, because we don't need to play it like another 1-drop that will blow up a few things. We just need to maybe take out the 1 Prophetic Prism so they don't have colored mana, that kind of thing. So this is the deck. Let's go and have a quick game or 2. So hold on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go play some games in the Pauper queues. Yeah, this deck is sweet. It has been a long time since I've played it, to be perfectly honest. So we'll see how we go. Leanna's asked me if I want a Milky Way to go with my tea, and the answer to that is always, oh yeah. Thank you. Alright. Please excuse me as I eat my Milky Way. So how's things been with yourself, Barnseye? All good in the hood?
I'm home from work.
Leanne's working from home. She's not driving me insane.
Yeah.
She's not driving me insane.
You love it.
We're still waiting. So, no biggie. Sitting around not working.
Oh no.
That's a butt.
Okay.
Come on, where's the games going? You've been playing Animal Crossing like crazy.
Yes, bitch.
Oh, you're gonna set Leanne off. Careful.
It's so pure.
Oh! We won the die roll. Does that mean we win the game? I'm gonna keep this. Boyfriend got it too. Nice. Seemed like it seemed like it came out at like the exact right time. Everybody was like, "Yeah, we're all panicked." Oh, look, cute things. I'm pretty sure Leanne would have lost her mind at this point. If she hadn't gotten Animal Crossing, I'd say. Gotta love a Turn 1 Foundry Street Denizen. If you untap with this, you know shit's about to get real. Oh, we're gonna untap with it. They ain't gonna kill this with a plains. Unless they have Sunlands. Which would be... Oh, Fairy Guide Mother. Are we seeing a White Weenie deck? Oh, tell me we got a white weenie deck in Pauper now. Yeah, I saw that everyone was real afraid that GameStop just wouldn't have it. Mm. I think I just want a Mog Rider here. And you know what? I think I like this idea. I think I'm just going to pass the turn. I think I'm going to cycle Forgotten Cave. But I'm going to make it look like I've got a bolt, basically. What is this? Uh-oh. Are we playing standard Pauper right now? What's going on here? Oh my god, that's so big! Okay. I don't know if they realize that they have to target something with that. And I don't know if they do know that, I don't know what they're holding on about. Third favorite standard card? Sentinel's Eyes, is it? I gotta say, I've been playing Orzhov Auras in standard, historic, which by the way, I'll get back to, historic. Pioneer. It's really good. It's really, really good. And yeah, Sentinel's Eyes is definitely an important thing there. Are you gonna target something here, friendo? There we go. There we go. Okay, so we might have to Goblin Grenade this because this is a problem. Sorry, just moving the mic. Yeah, this is fine. I'm gonna cycle this. Fire Blast is alright. Fire Blast is alright. Another land. I'm gonna play the land. We could Heel Cutter, and we could just keep Heel Cuttering, but like, is that gonna do anything for us? I think we have to kill this. I think we have to kill this. Yeah, I don't like this, but I think we're better off to sack the Mog Raider, I think. But our opponent's down to 3 cards in hand, and I think our card quality is better. And I'm going to cast this with Kicker. This is going to be a nice little chunk of damage. This should put them down to... Oh, if I'm wrong... 13 maybe? Somebody 2, 3, 5... Yeah, this would be attack for 5, put them to 13. Yeah, swing in. Yeah, it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger. That's it. I like their name though, Cakes Chan. Okay, so if they play a creature at this time and we Heel Cutter, if they play nothing, I'm kind of okay with that too. But what could they have? I think I'm okay with dashing out Heel Cutter. This is a tough one. This is a tough one because if they have flash blockers, they can. We might be better off deploying a Mog Raider and being able to sack it to pump something else. Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Well, we can Fire Blast as an emergency something anyway, so that's not too bad. I think I just want to go Heel Cutter with dash. I think I could be wrong on this. And I could just end up paying miserably for this now. But this is 6 damage coming across. I noticed you said Raider the second after The second after I clicked on it, I was like, oh no. Oh no, as far as I noticed something that I haven't. Am I screwed now? I think we might just get away with this. I think we might actually just get away with this. Yeah, that's the thing. I have the chat delay set to be as minimum as possible. And oh no, we wrecked them. Absolutely wrecked them. Okay, so they have big things. I actually think we're kind of very well set for this match. Like they do have one toughness creatures, but they've also got things to suit them up. So if we don't, like, we could technically bring in electricity as little ways to deal with creatures, but like, is that actually going to do anything? Like, what happens if they play something on turn 1 and then they suit it up on turn 2? Our electricity looks ridiculous then, you know. Gorilla Shaman, I didn't see any artifacts. Same with Smash. They don't have any blue by the looks of it. Maybe Sylvic Lifestaff, but I don't think there's anything in the deck that's inherently bad here. Sparksmith is probably going to be helpful here. I think we just run it back. This deck feels fun. I quite like it. It feels like a cross between 8-Whack and like modern or legacy goblins, I think. Am I in the market for a one-lander? On the draw? Yes. Yes. Oh, Fairy Godmother again. Unless, like, maybe it's not a white weenies. Maybe it's like a heroic deck, only without heroic payoffs. I don't know. It seems weird. What do I want to play out? I want to save the. Yeah, it's just one of these. The Mono Red Confidence. I mean, like, it's actually 50% of my deck is 1 mana confidence. My average CMC is 1. That's where the confidence of keeping a one-lander comes from. Are we just gonna see the same turn again? Like, I am A-okay with bolting this creature this turn. Yep. Actually, do I want to bolt them, or do I want to run out a Sparksmith and then I won't be able to kill it this turn probably. No, I definitely won't be able to. But if I play out a Sparksmith, then next turn I can play Mog War Marshal, Mog Raider, activate Sparksmith. That would be enough to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they even get it up to 5 power, I'm kind of good. But if we don't kill it now, we get no damage in, but our damage that we're going to get in is going to be kind of terrible. So yeah, I think I'm just playing a Sparksmith and passing. Oh, they're reading it. It took a while to resolve. They're reading the card. I think, yeah, because I think we can flood the board this turn, provided they don't do anything to Sparksmith. That's nice. It's Mono White Devotion. This is sweet. Also, so far, all that we've seen from our opponent is all standard legal cards. So, what is going on? This is ridiculous. This actually works out beautifully, though. We can kill the whole board. We can kill their entire board. We can bolt the Chimera, tap the Goblin Slider to kill the Guide Mother, and then still have 2 mana left over to play it like Mog War Marshal. And then the following turn, just kick a Bushwhacker. I'm liking this plan so far. I think that's the line I want to be taking here. Well, might be new to Magic, or might actually be trying out something legit, because I mean, so far I haven't seen them make any misplays or anything at all like that. So, okay, I'm liking the. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Right. So if we're incredibly lucky, our turns are gonna go. We bolt the Chimera. We tap the Sparksmith to kill the Guide Mother. Then we play the Mog War Marshal, we attack, and then the next turn we draw. If we draw a land, we can Mog War Marshal, kick Bushwhacker, attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 possibly. That might work. So let's bolt this. I have a strange feeling that as soon as I chose to bolt that, I just suddenly, the thing that flashed up in my head was mutagenic growth. And I'm very glad they didn't have it. Playing white, you can make an argument it's a misplay, potentially. But I think it's actually kind of okay. Now, I kind of like this idea. I'm going to deal damage here equal to the number of things. And I'm going to go to combat, right? We're going to lose that Mog War Marshal anyway. So I think what we should do to maximize our damage output, we should activate this, sacking the Mog War Marshal. Yeah, because we're gonna get our token anyway, but this way we're getting an additional point of damage from the initial goblin. The initial goblin. What happened there? What happened there? I should have gotten an extra point of damage. Did I misclick somewhere along the line? Oh, okay. I think I see how this works. So, yeah, okay. You select targets on this first, and I had clicked the Mog War Marshal. Okay. Okay. That was a punt, but yeah. It is what it is. Okay. Okay. I think I see what they're doing. So, by the looks of it, what they're doing is they're actually playing a sort of convoke. They're looking to find. I actually kind of like this. I actually kind of like this a lot, because what they're doing is they're looking to cheat on. Okay, they're looking to cheat on mana using the likes of Daybreak Chimera to play out a 2-mana 3/3, which is basically a Sarah Avenger. Just by increasing devotion and stuff, and by increasing devotion by playing creatures like this and stuff, you can also reduce costs of things like this, which a 4-mana 2/4 is a terrible rate, but if you're paying like 0 mana for this, that's pretty good, you know. So I kind of like the idea of where they're going with this. I imagine they have some of the Martyr's Soul in the list as well, I would say. So it could be like a mono white devotion convoke kind of job. Yeah, white's actually quite enjoyable in a lot of formats at the moment. I've been playing White Weenie a lot in Standard, actually. A lot of people are like just not prepared for White Weenie at all. So if I see like I have to cast X number of white spells on my arena dailies, I'm like, crack open White Weenie, let's go, win a few games. Okay, so like this hand is diverse, but honestly it feels like a control-ish hand. If we were against another aggressive deck that I knew we couldn't race, I would be inclined to keep this, because I'd be able to bolt something on turn 1, I'd be able to chump with a Bushwhacker, I'd then be able to play a Mog War Marshal, sack it to a Goblin Grenade to kill something else, and then have 2 chump blockers. But it's not aggressive at all, so I think we're on a mull here. And this is better, and I think I'm going to keep it. And I think I'm going to send back a Bushwhacker. I think. Nate Fennelly, welcome, bud. How's it going? Good to see you here. How you getting on? I'm doing some Magic Online. Kind of introductory streams in a way, and introductory videos where I'm going through Pauper and playing some of the cooler or more interesting fringe decks, so that people can people that are stuck at home at the moment can start playing Magic Online and not pump a ton of money into it. So that's cool. This deck is $13, 13 ticks. Let me double check this. Sorry, my mistake. There's a card in here that's expensive. It's the Gorilla Shamans in the sideboard. Oh, our arch nemesis over here, Spofraug. He's grinding. How you getting on? You still mythic? Okay, so we're against Tortured Existence. Tortured Existence is a favorite of mine. Tortured Existence is a 1 black mana for an enchantment that reads pay 1 black. It only has an activated ability, and the activated ability is pay 1 black and discard a card to discard a creature card to return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So you basically just start cycling through cards and creatures and stuff. Like it's weird, but it's really cool. It's really, really cool. Okay, so this is gonna suck. So do I want to do that? Yeah, I have no real good options here actually. This might be a bad match. This might not be good for us. We're basically they have the potential in a couple of turns to fog lock us essentially. It's gonna take them a long time to pull out of it and actually continue the game, but when they do, it will be basically impossible for us to come back out of. Having 6 points of burn in our hand, that was quite nice. If this is Tortured Existence, we're in a bad spot. Yep, there we go. Tortured Existence. You topped out at 23. That's sick. That's really sweet, dude. Are you taking part in any of the online the arena qualifier things? What are they called? The Magic Fest Online. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm not attacking with Sparksmith because I don't want to trade off with the Spore Frog because they'll just be able to get the Spore Frog back using Tortured Existence. They stopped on their upkeep because if they had a Dredger, they could have discarded it and then dredged. God, I love Pauper. There are just so many mad, weird decks that are available, and they're all so sick. They're all so sick. So if they sacrifice this, it should actually prevent us from taking damage. But didn't. Okay, that's fine. Am I going to pay the echo cost? No. You played in 1, but it went 3-2. That's not too bad, though. Could definitely take that and run with it. I am not aware of them having any flash threats, so having played the deck myself for quite some time, I'm okay with just swinging some damage in. Am I running Relic in the board? No, I'm running like no Graveyard Hate actually, because graveyard decks just aren't really a thing. Like, you could argue that Tron is a graveyard deck, but that's just using a loop and it's real slow. Like, we could definitely go under Tron. And even if they do foglock us, we have 27 points of burn in the deck as well. So I don't think I'm concerned much with graveyard decks. This seems like it might actually just be a bad match though. It might actually be a bad match, but we're doing okay so far. Like, we've got a board and stuff, so we might be all right. I'm kind of hoping to just fan out a bit here, to be honest. Honestly, they haven't really, for turn 5, they're not really anywhere. Like, we haven't put enough pressure on them, but they haven't really developed any. They have a Tortured Existence. That's it. They could change it with this turn now, but oh my god. Yeah, Crypt Rats is good. Crypt Rats is real good. Oh, yep. Our opponent is basically playing a toolbox deck, a graveyard toolbox deck. So we need to, yeah. All right. Well, this at least does something. So what we can do, right, to try and maximize our opponent to make a mistake, and we're going to attack with the 2 of these. They might feel inclined it's more efficient for them to pay 1 black mana. It's better in terms of life for them to invest 1 black mana into Crypt Rats to kill all 3 things. But I think I'm going to have to do this now. This is now going to force their hand to do this. which allows us to. It's not ideal because they're probably just going to get back next turn. Sure. No, we don't take that, which is nice. I'm going to play out a Mog Conscript. And then a Mog War Marshal. And if they don't play Crypt Rats this turn and instead opt for developing their board in some sort of way, then we're in a very good position. We'll be able to kick a Bushwhacker and then bolt their or grenade their face and probably just shore it up with 2 bolts from there. So they're going to discard a creature and get a Crypt Rats back here. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. But this is not looking good for our little dum-dums. Look at them go. The old art. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of old art on Magic cards, but goblins are exceptions. They just look like such derps. I just love them. Okay, so here is a thing that's worth pointing out. Is an interaction with the Tortured Existence deck. Golgari Brownscale. It has Dredge 2 and it's a 3 mana 2/3. However, when it's put into your hand from your graveyard, you gain 2 life. Now, normally this would be the way they designed it. You dredge 2, it comes back to your hand, and you gain 2 life. However, with Tortured Existence, for every 2 black mana you have, you can discard it into the bin and then bring it back into your hand without having to use the dredge effect. Meaning that every 2 mana equals 2 life, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, not gonna lie. The thing here, though, is that if they keep using the Crypt Rats, there is a way around this, because Crypt Rats deals damage to each creature and each player. We're currently looking at 11 points of burn in our hand. So if they overdo this, they're gonna have a bad time. I'm gonna pay the Echo cost on War Marshal. I think I can afford to this time. And I'm going to go to combat. Let's see what they do. I know we can't attack with conscripts because we haven't played a creature, but that's okay. Yeah, recurring Crypt Rats is pretty gross. To be honest, like, Tortured Existence is a hell of a deck. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so we're kind of in a decent spot here. Like, our opponent has to do 2 points of damage to themselves in order to. Yeah, see, this is the problem now. They can just keep cycling. Yeah, okay. I forgot all about the brown scale. Brown scale is going to be probably what gets us here. How do we get through this? I think we have to draw. Yeah, we can allow that. We have to probably draw. I don't know what we draw during their upkeep. Augur of Skulls. Jeez. Alright, so Augur of Skulls. If anyone hasn't seen this, I don't blame you, because it's not a very common card, even though it is a common. Pun intended there. It's a 2 mana 1/1, and you can pay 1 in a black to regenerate it. But you can sacrifice Augur of Skulls to have target player discard 2 cards, but you can activate this ability only during your own upkeep. So that's a thing. We might have to just empty our hand here. We might actually play this kick Bushwhacker. Combat. Yeah, I feel like the brown scale is actually going to be what does in, not the crypt rats. This auger is not going to be very good either. If they target us, we're going to be in trouble. They might target themselves because they are looking to do some dredgy stuff, so that's something as well. Let's hope they don't target us here. Okay, they're targeting us. What's the best option here? Because they could just. I think we have to discard the 2 bolts. This hurts. This hurts a lot. Not gonna lie. Discard. 6 points of burn gone. Whoa, that feels bad. That feels real bad. Okay. It's okay. We'll get there. One of the things that a lot of people don't like about the Tortured Existence decks is that they take a long time to do what they are supposed to do. So we'll probably watch our opponent gain a butt ton of life here now. They'll probably gain another 4. So they could gain like 6 life this turn after already making us discard 2 bolts. That's essentially a virtual 12-point life swing in their favor. Not good. If they wanted to be smart and do a heads up play, they would notice that we are in fact Goblin Tribal, and they would activate Crypt Rats on their turn rather than. Okay. What is the line? What's the best way to get damage output here? I think we have to Goblin Grenade. I kind of want to hold Goblin Grenade though. But if we dash and leave the Crypt Rats. Yeah, I think we have to Goblin Grenade because it's the only way to make it safe to grenade now. And I'm going to grenade the cohort because we're not playing a creature this turn, so yeah, we're gonna go to combat now. They've just enough mana to basically keep recurring the Crypt Rats every turn, which kind of locks us out of our Goblin Heel Cutter plan too, which kind of sucks as well. They activate that for X equals 1. Sure. Okay. So now all we can do is hope for the best. Yeah, they're going to discard the brown scale here and get back the Crypt Rats. That will allow them to do it again next turn. We've done a lot of damage to our opponent so far. Oh, they're getting back the Augur of Skulls. Okay, sure. Yeah. I don't quite like that. I would rather just get back the Crypt Rats and be happy with it, but yeah, they've dredged 2. Yeah, it's fine. That is fine. Tilling Tree Folk. Yes, sure thing. So Tilling Tree Folk is a 3 mana 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, you return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. So it's kind of like card advantage in a way. So they can get back like Barrenmore, and they'll be able to use that to cycle, which can activate a dredge creature if they have one in there. There's a lot of different lines to it. It's a very, very twisty kind of deck. If you like grindy games and grindy decks, and you don't mind having a bit of graveyard synergy and that kind of thing, it's a very fun deck. I highly recommend it. Augur of Skulls. Yep. Let's get another scary discard boy. Or gal. We don't know. Could be anybody. Okay. I'm gonna have to play out everything, I think. I'm gonna cast this with dash. Combat. I'm gonna make it so that the Augur of Skulls can't block. I think. Because that way they can't regenerate it and be fine with just taking the damage. They have to have something die or they take damage. So I think that's the line. Possibly. But we'll see. We will see. I wouldn't be surprised to see them throw the tree folk under. Because they'll be able to get it back if they need it. So what they can do in end step here is they could probably cycle the Baron more, pitch a creature, get back to Tilling Tree Folk, play the Tilling Tree Folk, get back to Baron more. You see how this sort of cycles and keeps going? It basically just keeps looping, which is kind of annoying. The downside here now, though, is that they get to discard the Augur, or they sacrifice the Augur of Skulls and we lose our Heel Cutter. This is not something that I played in my build when I played with it, and I quite like it. I gotta say, I quite like it. I'm always gonna yield to that. May as well play with our graveyards out. Ours is much less relevant than theirs, but yeah, they'll probably get back to Brown Scale, gain them an extra 2 life. No, just draw a card. Okay, natural draw. There's been several times where the best way to beat a Tortured Existence, or Tortex as they're known, deck is actually to mill them out. They have one card. They have one card in the deck as mill protection. And that is a Battlefield Centaur is the name of it, I think. It's like a 5 mana 3/4 or something like this. But essentially you can pump it. You can pump it once per turn by... It's weird. You can pump it once per turn by by taking 3 cards from your graveyard and putting them into your library. So basically you just keep doing that to make sure you don't mill out. So this is one of the things here now that we will see. You'll see a lot when you play against Tortured Existence, which is Grave Scrabbler. 3 and a black for a 2/2 with Madness 1 and a black. And when it enters the battlefield, if its Madness cost was paid, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to its owner's hand. So what you do is you pay 1 black mana with Tortured Existence, discard the Grave Scrabbler in order to get back a creature. But then you pay the Madness cost, Grave Scrabbler will come into the battlefield, and then its ability will allow you to get another creature back. So you get multiple creatures back. It's the card advantage engine within Tortured Existence, in addition to the Tilling Tree Folk, getting back the lands, cycling the lands, that kind of thing. So Augur seems slow. Yeah, I do agree that it does seem slow. Being able to regenerate's kind of worth looking into, though, to be honest. Because sometimes you want to just want to chump block a few times in order to get you set up, and you don't really want to have to pay whatever to go and get a creature back to discard a card to get a creature back from the graveyard in order to then spend mana to cast it and then have to block again with it. Instead, just paying 2 mana to sort of keep it there seems pretty okay as well. So I don't know, worth looking into, I guess. This is actually a bit more of a showcase on Tortured Existence rather than Goblins itself, but we'll see. In all honesty, if we don't see any kind of change in the game here in the next, I'd say 2 turns, I'll probably concede and go to the next game. Because all that's going to happen is they're just going to start looping, and once they start looping, there's basically no end to it. So we're pretty much clued into having to get just multiple goblin grenades off the top.
Goblin grenades, best grenades.
Leanne's over here singing "Goblin grenades, best grenades."
Grenades.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Not wrong.
She's not wrong. There's some great grenades.
Great grenades.
Do you remember this deck, Tortured Existence, where we just loop all the graveyard stuff?
I knew as
Little
soon as you said
Spofro.
score for Gogi, I was like, that's it.
Leanne's preference for deck in Pauper is a red green Cascade aggro deck, and I'm sure she would love both burn or red deck wins or goblins or. So I think she's firmly on our side for this one, but it's looking like luck maybe not may not be on our side for this round, possibly. This is taking a while for our opponent to go through all this stuff, so I'm fine with taking a bop from a couple of these. They're just gonna sack the Spore Frog, to be honest. That's gonna prevent us from getting any damage through. I think we're actually locked out here at this point. Our way to beat this is in their end step. In their end step, use a removal spell on the Spore Frog, forcing them to then sacrifice it or just let it die. And then they can't get it back and play it again that turn, which means they can't fog for that turn. But okay, they are getting to a point where they understand that it's time to close out the game. And I appreciate that in a Tortured Existence player. They're not going to leave us in agony for 15 more turns. You love the variety of interactions that Tortured Existence can support, but it always pains me to see Tortured Existence, Flickertron, pushing game prison strategy. I mean, yes, I definitely wouldn't put Tortured Existence in the same camp as Flickertron at all. I do think that stuff like Tortured Existence lock can and should be a thing, mostly because it's very hard to do. It's really hard to do. What are we even getting here? Is there anything we can even get, or do we just concede and go to the next game? Like, Bushwhacker doesn't do anything. Sparksmith doesn't even kill the Tusker. Yeah, I think we actually concede and go to the next game. Just save our time, I think. You love the Tortured Existence deck. You'd play something like that if you're in Pauper. Do. It's really fun. It's really, really good. Okay. So, Tortured Existence, I think we actually have nothing for this as well. Whose sideboard is this? This 5-0'd like a week ago. Where is the graveyard hate? Do we bring anything in? I think there's another down sideboard matchup because there's no artifacts. Some builds run like one or two artifact creatures that when they die they deal damage, but like they haven't been seen in a long time. We're red, so we're no way dealing with enchantments. Electricity or Sylvic Lifestaff are the closest, but honestly, I don't really like either. But that said, there's not a whole lot that we can take out that's of any use, or that's not good here either. So I think we're just running it back. See how we do. Would I like to play first? Oh yes. Let's have a look. So we have a Sparksmith, a Slider, Bushwhackers, Fireblast, Mog Raider. I mean, it's a 1-lander with 4 1-drops and a free spell. So yeah, okay. I'm good with this. Let's go with... Who do we prefer? Slider or Raider? I kind of like Raider because it also looks like he's posing. Paint me like one of your French goblins. But this art is also just so gnarly. I think I'll go with the Slider. They seem less blessed in the looks department, so we'll get this poor dum dum out first. Okay, Barrenmore. That is a good start because it implies that It implies that they don't have any other lands in which to put out. Looks like we're gonna go to combat. We're gonna bop them. Feel like this might not be a fast enough clock. If that was another land there, we would have had a good time, but okay. Dead weight. Sure. Yeah, you can dead weight that. Okay. This is not bad at all. This is not bad at all for us because it seems that they're playing with a lot of tap lands, which, to be fair, that deck kind of needs for the colors. But yikes! All right. I don't want to play this out by itself, but like, what else can I do? Gotta get that damage in somehow. It might have been wrong to do that, but we don't really have much better option here. Yeah, we needed to go faster than this, to be honest. And our mana is the thing that's sort of holding us back here, I think, unfortunately. Fume Spitter, yes. That's really, really good. These are all really, really good against our deck, actually. Yeah, they seem to have kitted themselves out very nicely for the small creature matches, which is probably a pretty good idea right now. Like Spore Frog and Fume Spitter are insane against the likes of Elves and stuff as well, and Stompy, and there's a lot that they're really good against, actually. Oh, God. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I'd love for you to gift a land. My kingdom for a land. Yep. Feels bad. Feels bad. Oh God. Why does this Goblin Matron look like that? Just looks. That just looks like the art. The art looks like every a teacher that everyone has had. Everyone has had that exact teacher right there, at some point in their life. So commune with the gods, reveal 2 tortured existences and a jungle hollow. Commune with the gods, 1 in the green sorcery, reveal the top 5 cards. May reveal a creature or enchantment card. Sorry, so it also revealed Horror of the Broken Lands. Now we're in trouble. Now we're in a lot of trouble. An awful lot of trouble. Land. Okay. So we're... This thing, though. I guess we boop them. They could just use the Spore Frog as removal here if they wanted to. Wouldn't really do much bad at all. Like, all they have to do next turn is just pay a black to discard to get it back, and then use the green from the raw farm to pay for the Spore Frog again. Yeah, we might actually already be in the lock. It's Tortured Existence. Opponent seems to know what they're doing. If we're in a lock, I will explain exactly how we're in a lock for anybody that might be watching that doesn't fully understand how it works. Essentially, Spore Frog prevents all damage by sacrificing it that would be dealt that turn, and Tortured Existence, you can pay 1 black and discard a creature card in order to bring a creature back from the graveyard to your hand, like a Raise Dead effect. So it would be Spore Frog would go back to their hand. All they have to do then is just play it again, and then they can sacrifice it and prevent damage again. Then they just pay black and discard a creature card in order to get another one back to their hand. And the way that they will eventually guarantee that they will always have a creature card in their hand to discard is that they will have a dredge creature in the bin, and every turn, instead of drawing for the turn, they will dredge and get that creature back to their hand. Once they've shown the lock, I would be happy to concede, because I don't think we'd have enough burn to get around it, to be honest. If we were burn, this might be a different situation, but Okay. Are they looking to... Oh, they're not madnessing. They're just getting back the Spore Frog and playing it. Okay. Yeah, fair. Yeah. The thing is, with the Grave Scrabbler, you kind of nearly always want to be paying the madness cost on that. So them discarding that in order to get back the Spore Frog really tells me that they probably don't have another creature there in hand. And I don't think I want to pay for this. Land would be nice, but unfortunately is not the case. I'm okay with getting out of Sparksmith here. Get out of Sparksmith. See, the thing with our opponent's deck is that it dies to Graveyard Hate pretty hard. Like, if they were to just play out these creatures, they're abysmal. They're really, really poor. But because they have such ability in their flexibility, that's what makes them so good, in the fact that they can keep recurring them. It was unfortunate. They could just get back a Fume Spitter, kill my Sparksmith, and that kind of ruins all chance they have, or we have, of getting back into it. But yeah, it would have been a fantastic opening otherwise, I think. Yeah, if we just gone land, we would have been laughing for sure. Yeah. They are likely to get back. Probably, they could actually just start putting the pressure on here. Get back. Oh no, they're gonna get back Fume Spitter. I figure they might, but it would not be unreasonable for them to get back Horror of the Broken Lands now, because actually I probably would have gone for the Grave Scrabbler and just get more value. Because I don't think, because they have 4 cards in hand, we still have more cards than they do. I suppose they've got their value engine online. They don't really need it necessarily. It's there if they ever need it at some later stage. Okay, so play a Foundry Street Denizen. I think we hold a Bolt and keep up the Sparksmith. I don't think we can attack. But I think... Yeah, see, our problem here is we need to kill both the Spore Frog and the Tilling Tree Folk in order to actually get our creatures through. Spore Frog because we need to be able to, when we attack, we need to actually get damage through. Tilling Tree Folk is able to block against everything we have. Also, if anyone's wondering why the hell they're playing Deadweight over something like Disfigure or whatever, is because it's an enchantment and it can be got off of Commune with the Gods. Fume Spitter. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, so this gonna deal damage to... They're just going to be able to get back the Spore Frog. So I think we have to take care of the Tilling Tree Folk. Yep. Yeah, they're going to kill off this goblin. I feel like we, despite all the burn that we have, it might not be enough at all. Like, we have 10 points of burn in hand currently. Yeah, so this is what I expected them to get back. Looks like they did. So it's a 5 mana 4/4, and whenever you cycle or discard another card, hint, that's a lot of cards. It gets +2/+1 until end of turn. So this can kill us in like one swing if we're not lucky. How do we win? How do we realistically win? I don't think we do. If we bolt the Spore Frog now, we can't really get any any damage through with our 3 little duders. So I don't like that idea. I think we're just bolting face. These are all poor targets for them right now, so. Conscripts. Yeah, I guess so. So the ideal draw, I think, next turn would be land. So if on end step we hit the Spore Frog with the bolt, then we can untap. If we draw a land, we can kick Bushwhacker. I mean, yeah, that's another way of doing it. Double bolt myself and Fire Blast for the loss. Yeah, they're doing this on end step. That's fine. Yeah, they're getting back to Scrabbler now, so they're making sure that. So what they've essentially done here is they've stabilized. They have a little bit of a lock going on. They have a soft lock essentially. They have the Horror of the Broken Lands as their beater or protection. Okay, I think we're now definitely dead because they dredged the Golgari Brown Scale, gained 2 life, and dredged over Crypt Rats, which they can now just get back and wipe the board. There you go. Oh, they just excuse me. They just had one anyway. Yeah, that seems good. Seems good. X equals 2 kills everything. Yeah, honestly, I think we're dead. This feels really, really poor matchup wise. They could and probably should discard a card here in order to deal extra damage, just to ensure a shorter clock, I think. Yeah, see, they should have done that in combat so that they get more damage through. They should definitely have done that then. I think it would have. I don't see any benefit to doing it there instead. Cool. Yep. I think we're as actually, you know what? They have the Spore Frog, they have the Golgari Brown Scale to dredge. They have the soft lock in place. So, Juan Navarro 14 has beaten us with Tortured Existence. So that's that game anyway. I can fit probably one more in. The aim of this stream is to just get a few games in with it. And like I said, I'm going to be doing more regular streaming to shorter streams so that I can get a few games in with each different deck to get an idea of how they all play, to get some people into the format hopefully, and to see that it is absolutely tons of fun. They're on the play, we're on the draw. We have 3 1-mana spells, we have 1 land, no real curve. Screw it, let's go. Yeah, I mean, like, what would be the better one to play out of the two on turn 1? It's an interesting one. I don't think it actually matters here. Okay, now it can matter. Because we have a second land. Because what can happen is, I think Foundry Street Denizen is the better option. And the reason for that is because if we draw a 1-drop, we can then play 2 1-drops and this will attack for 3. Or if we draw a Mog War Marshal, we can play 2 creatures off of it and this will attack for 3. This will always only ever attack for 2. So yeah, it's just higher upside here, I think. It's only 1 point of damage, but we are against the big bad, Tron. We've got a lot of sideboard cards for this, at least. A lot of artifact hate. So, hopefully we'll get there with this now. So, okay, so we drew that 1-drop. So this is nice. This is nice. We now get to play. This can be a rough one actually, because this may not be able to attack next turn, which is unfortunate. But we can always use it as pump fodder if we need to. So, not a big deal, I guess. I'm gonna have to yield to that actually, because that's gonna get annoying. Boop. Go to combat. Take 3. Yeah. I'm going to be much less forgiving with Flickertron. If they do get us into the lock, I'm going to concede as soon as I see the pieces. Unlike the last one. Tortured Existence. I kind of like the deck. You don't see it anywhere near as much, so I'm kind of okay with it. But yeah, I think this is. I think I'm okay with this. I love Fangren Tron. I friggin' love Fangren Tron. The big stompy, just go bigger than all the mid-range decks. With my aggro, my aggro Tron plan. It's so good. So, okay, Flickertron. I will unfortunately be playing it at some point. Unfortunately. But essentially what you look to do is you look to have what's it called, mnemonic wall. So when it ETBs 5 mana 04 05 04 and when it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. And what you do is you play that, you get back whatever, it doesn't really matter at that point, and then you can we kill them next turn? Actually, I think we can. Yeah, and then you cast Ghostly Flicker, which I'm sure you know from all the different combos and stuff in EDH. Yeah, and you basically flicker and you just keep getting it back, but you can also flicker stuff like Stonehorn Dignitary and lock your opponent out of combat steps ever again. Yes, constantly cast it again and again and again and again and again, and it is gross. It is really, really gross. And yeah, here we go. Yep, Stonehorn. God damn it. Yep. So they also run Ephemerate, so we pretty much can't kill this now. Cool. I'm very upset now. This is a guarantee fog, which I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Yeah, and they're all Pauper legal. The thing is, right, that it's actually one of the biggest archetypes in the entire format. If they filter white here, they're impulsing. Okay. It's one of the bogeymen of the format, and people are constantly calling for anything in Tron to get banned. Anything. If you like that kind of Brago thing, you'll like Flickertron, but I beg you, please don't. Please don't do it. Nobody in Ireland actually plays Flickertron. One person, as far as I know, because I sold them the deck at the time, plays Fangrantron, which is basically just play giant creatures. Wretched Griffs and Ulamog's Crushers and all that kind of thing, which is pretty sick. I really recommend that deck. I think that's the one that Elle was talking about a few minutes ago as well. It's sweet. It's really sweet. Yeah, so here's the... Okay, cool. So what we can do, right? We can be really, really risky here. And we can bolt our opponent's face and then Fire Blast a Dignitary. But if they have another way of interacting with that, we've basically just double stone round ourselves for no reason. But if we allow this, they're gonna do it again next turn. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna be an absolute insane person and do this. Sacrifice 2 mountains. Blow this up. I'm gonna do it. Risky. They probably have something. They almost definitely have something, because this filters for colored mana. So if they have something, we're probably dead at that point, because Ephemerit's just gonna rebound. So oh no! But what this does do is it kills the Ephemerate, because it's not got a legal target anymore. So they only get this one turn. They lose their Ephemerate. However, they could just untap and play a mnemonic wall, and then we're screwed, because they'll just get back Ghostly Flicker and then flicker the two of them over and over again. So there's that too. Well, cool. We ain't got combat this turn, so how's it going, I love Mert? Yeah, not too bad. This is likely, well, depending on how this goes, I might just concede early so we can squeeze another game in, but it might be the last round that I play today. Trying to have some shorter streams just so we can do some different things and play around. What are they getting with this? They get Ephemerate. Yeah, I'm happy to concede at that point. I generally like if our opponent displays a way in which they can beat us, and all they have to do is just like, I used to be like, no, I'm gonna make them play it out, make them kill me, but like, to be honest, like, that's better things to be doing with my time. That's way better things to be doing with my time. Okay, so what we need to be aware of here is, honestly, Sparksmith is pretty okay, actually. I quite like Sparksmith because it's the threat of activation. It's the threat of activation, to be honest. Matron seems too slow, and I don't think we need anything in particular out of our deck in this matchup. I kind of like 2 Rebs. I'm okay with 2 Rebs. I like the Smash to Smithereens. Let me just have a quick look at... I'm just pulling up over to the side here. The Pauper list. How many artifacts does it actually have? It only has like 7. It only runs the Prophetic Prism and the Expedition maps. You know what? Maybe I'm better off with the Gorilla Shamans. The reason I say that is because they're at least creatures. That if they don't have the artifacts out, then we're kind of all right. Post board, what are they going to bring in against us? Actually, they're probably going to bring in like Moment's Peace and stuff, which is rough, very rough. They'll probably also bring in something like Weather the Storm, maybe. Yeah, Smash does go upstairs. The only problem though is that if they don't draw it, it's a dead card. At least with Gorilla Shaman, it's a creature. You know what I mean? They do have quite a few. They have a lot of blue cards actually in the newer builds of the Flickertron. They have way more blue cards than I thought they did. So I'm okay with taking out maybe like 1 or 2 conscripts. Yeah, I think conscripts are okay to take out, and then that's a reasonable thing to point out. Yeah, might be better off just going fast. I like the Heel Cutter. I'm gonna have to pull these out quickly. 2 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, I think you might be right. It's only 2 of anyway, so worst case scenario, if they don't line up, it's no biggie. This is a perfectly reasonable hand. We start with Foundry Street Denizen, we lead with a Mogwar Marshal after that. Go from there. If they play out a creature, we can make it unblockable with another land drop. So this is likely to be among our most aggressive starts in the deck, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I was thinking more along the lines of trying to reason with Tron as opposed to trying to just ignore it and kill it. If that makes sense. So let's get this out. Swing for 3. We're probably going to see some fogs in this match. Personally, I think Tron is perfectly fine in Pauper. Just not in its current iteration. I don't like the weird prison combo idea behind it. Elle was talking about this earlier. About both Tortured Existence and Tron, but I personally think Tortured Existence is fine because it is a much higher skill cap, I believe, to run Tortured Existence compared to Tron, but it's different strokes, I guess. I'm not going to pay the echo cost on that because I'm not particularly bothered. They get another pump there, which is nice, so we still get our damage through. And I'm going to go to combat. And I'm going to see what our opponent does because they did not play out anything here. So they have either got an impulse or they've got a prohibit. And the likelihood of them having a prohibit is actually quite low. They're more likely to have an impulse. So I think I'm going to push out another War Marshal. I know he lost a bit of damage by doing this. 2 points of damage actually, to be sure, but you know what, maybe we should have just made them have it. Yeah, like Abundant Mana is okay. Like if you're doing reasonable things with it, and this is gonna sound weird, but bear with me. If you're doing reasonable things with exceptional mana like that, like Tron does in Modern, because let's be real, it's not doing some sort of dumb combo to lock you out of the game. It's just playing massive game enders that just go, you basically dead, bro. Like that's fine. If you but and it's okay to not like that either. But I think as far as a format health thing goes, that's fine to have. You know, and it's okay in Modern because like some decks have insane matchups and some have horrible matchups and that kind of thing, you know. But when it comes to Pauper, if you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go play some, you know, some sweet mid-range cards, you know, like Boros Monarch or something, and then Tron comes along and is like, lol, you're locked out of combat, bro. It feels terrible. It feels really terrible. I would really love a Bushwhacker off the top here. Bushwhacker off the top would be mwah. Especially in Pauper, there's no real big threat that wins up. Exactly, yeah, like you've got Ulamog's Crusher, but like it still dies to like Doomblade, so like blue-black mid-range decks can still deal with it nicely, and so can the Pestilence decks and stuff, you know. So like I'm fine with that kind of thing. Forgotten Cave, not as exciting, I don't think. Thoughts on Fischlbrand? I friggin' love it. And I'm an idiot that can't pilot it properly. But hey, that doesn't matter. I think I'm just gonna go ham here. I'm just gonna mash everything into the board. Because they're tapped out. Like, they don't have sweepers. They've got fogs and they're tapped out, so get it while the going's good. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we get one more combat step in, we win, so it's fun, but there's a party that doesn't like combat decks that border on the realm of Solitaire. Yeah, I'm not cycling this. I'm just gonna play it. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm okay with not sacrificing any goblins to do pumps here. I don't think. Am I? Let me do some maths here for a moment. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7. Then next turn, if we don't play a creature, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. Yeah, it can be very easily disrupted. Like a timely counterspell, and it's like, well, I'm dead in the water. Cool. GG. Do I want to pump some goblins here? That's my question. How much can I do? I can sacrifice 3 to up it to 10. That has them dead to Heel Cutter and Bolt. It does actually do that. But yeah, no, I think we're actually good. I think we're actually good, just as we are. I don't think it actually changes the clock. It just reduces my resources at this point. But we're close. We're close to that stage. Feel like, yeah, I feel like they might be a tad slow this time. I'm going to play the cohort just to get that extra little bit of damage in with the Foundry Street Denizen. And I'm going to go to combat. So it's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gonna activate this to pump a goblin by sacrificing the cohort. That's lethal. Yeah, got there. All right, time to sideboard. It also, Fisherbrand also actually has a horrible time against, what's it called?
Scotty, stem in or out?
Sorry, 1 second. Either, whatever you want. What was I saying? Yeah, it has a real hard time against Graveyard Hate as well. If you wipe their graveyard a few times, they're kind of screwed. I kind of like the idea. I saw someone had sent me this really weird infect list. I can't remember who sent it to me now, but someone sent me a really weird infect list. They ran a couple of Lotus Petals, and I kind of like that idea because Lotus Petals legal in Pauper. Like let's try and turbo something out, you know. But the thing I really liked about it was, let's look at this hand. I think this hand is keepable. It's just in the realm of keepability, but it ran 4 crop rotation and a bunch of weird lands. Like it had Saigiri Step to give protection, I had another one to give +2/+0 on first strike, I had Bajuka Bog, I had all sorts, and it made me think, is a lands deck actually viable? Because we have Pulse Marasa, we have crop rotation, we have all sorts, and then we have creatures that have plus that get bonuses thanks to they were released in Modern Horizons. It could be a red-green lands deck that get there's one that's like there's one that's, what's it called? I'm actually getting quite excited about this now. It's got it's a 4 mana, sorry, it's a 6 mana 4/3 that costs 2 less if there's a land in your graveyard, and you can also when it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to a creature. That's it. So it's like an FTK, like a Flame Tongue Kavu. And there's another one as well that does, what's it called? It's a 6 mana 5/5 with trample, but it gets +3/+3 if there's a land in the graveyard as well, which I quite like that idea too. Yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. You like the Pauper has Brainstorm and Counterspell, and they're not busted. They're not busted because everyone's cards are roughly around like good power level, and nothing is insane. And in fact, the likes of Counterspell and stuff are what decks use to beat stuff like Tron, which is I quite like. I think what I want to do here is I still want to commit hard, but maybe not too hard. I can see them untapping and evoking a Muldrifter here, so I'm gonna hold up the Reb for that. If they just have Natural Tron, I'm kind of screwed, but it is what it is, I guess. Deluxe and Kaff on Propaganda regularly plays 4 color effect. Yeah, it was weird. I'm gonna have to actually look into a lands deck because I like the idea. It's like there's gotta be a way to play around with crop rotation, surely. And there's Natural Tron. We are in trouble. We're in an awful lot of trouble. Okay. Time to start committing hard to the board. I think we kick Bushwhacker. We need a quick damage boost. The problem here is if they have a fog. Ooh, not great, you know. Tainted Strike on Kiln Fiend sounds gross. Abundant Growth is the next Arkham's Astrolabe. I'm not convinced by that because it has been around for a long time. Now it is really, really good and it is in Bogles. It's absolutely powerful for sure. I wouldn't put it as powerful as Astrolabe. Astrolabe is a special kind of what the hell, man. Like, yeah, I feel the fog. I feel it deep in my soul. Here comes Moment's Peace. God damn it. Yep, that was a waste of a Bushwhacker. That hurts. So the problem here, and here is where Tron becomes a problem because I have the likes of Moment's Peace, and Moment's Peace by themselves, it's actually fine. It's actually okay. The problem against a lot of decks is that fogging once, you might be able to stabilize. The fact that it has 2 fogs on it and they're able to both do that and advance their game plan due to their enormous mana advantage is not great. It's not, I mean, it is great for them, but it's very, very hard to play around. Very, very hard to play around. Like, we there basically had to make them have it, and they draw roughly 5 cards a turn, so of course they're going to have it 90% of the time. And yeah, here's the problem now. So if we see like a Ghostly Flicker or something here, I'm just going to concede, because unfortunately can't really do a whole lot about it. But we will see. Okay, so we can certainly force some sort of action, I guess. We might actually not be too bad here, because if we do this and then force the attack, if we force them to Moment's Peace again, if we can do that here, that would be fantastic. In this coming turn. The problem here is that, yeah, Pauper with Astrolabe, but without Ephemerate and Ghostly Flicker. To be honest, if Astrolabe was to exist in this format, it would be without Ephemerate more than anything. I know that some lists were basically mono white Tron that were just running 4 Prophetic Prism, 4 Astrolabe, and then the Tron lands and planes, and then just running all sorts of stuff. But if they get back Moment's Peace, I'm gonna eat my hat. They got back Impulse. Okay, well that's something. That's something, I guess. Problem here though. So I'm gonna destroy this, or attempt to destroy this. Let's hope they don't have anything for it. But if they do, it means that they will be tapped out, and we will be able to Fire Blast the Dignitary. Okay, we're gonna have to do this now. I have to Fire Blast the Dignitary. If we don't lose that Dignitary, we're gonna be stuck in a lock here. The downside though is that they've got 4 of those, so not great. Not great. Yeah, so yeah, they'll get back Flicker, which doesn't do a whole lot with the Mnemonic Wall just by itself, but it can Flicker a land and give them additional mana, or Flicker a Prism and give them additional filtering. That's not a terrible draw. The problem here, right, is if they block something. Yeah. If they block something there, I would have felt inclined to want to sacrifice a bunch of goblins to pump one to kill the wall. But yeah, we're probably screwed. Impulse is just so strong in the deck as well. Like it seems like an innocuous card, and to be fair, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's not an overpowered card, but when you get to just look at the top 4 for so little mana in the grand scheme of things, considering, like here's the problem. Here's where we start getting into forcing the lock at this point. You know what I mean? So, ooh, Leanne is showing her chopping skills over here. I'm making mushroom risotto. I'm on a very strict time limit right now.
So I've had to get involved.
Leanne has had to get involved, which is unusual. I normally do dinner stuff, but we have F&M in 35 minutes on Arena, with our LGS. We're not doing the F&M at home thing that Watsy's doing. We're doing the they have a flicker, don't they? I forgot.
We have a separate brawl thing.
Yeah, we have a separate brawl thing that we're going to be doing instead. But that starts in 35 minutes, and I have to spend 25 of it cooking cooking risotto, because I made the mistake of having the hold on. Do we counter this? I think we do. Whoop.
That's half the tub. Is that enough, or do I do the whole thing?
Oh, whole thing. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I can finish this game for sure, but way more fun than watching Flickertron. They got the beb. All right, GG opponent. So, if in case anybody's watching and you don't know what's going on here, right? What happens is they cast Ghostly Flicker, they flicker Mnemonic Wall and Stonehorn Dignitary. The 2 ETBs happen again. Stonehorn Dignitary means that we skip our next combat phase, and the way it's phrased is that it's not the one in your next turn, it's the next one you can get. So if you're already skipping your next 3 combat phases, you skip the one after that again. So it just accumulates, it stacks. And then Mnemonic Wall's ETB happens and gets back the Ghostly Flicker that's just been placed into the graveyard, which means that they can then cast it again multiple times, often in a turn, because, well, right now they can actually cast it another 2 times, because they have the blue off these Prophetic Prisms as well, which means that they've locked us out of the next 3 combat phases. And from there, they eventually just get to a Dinrova Horror, just start bouncing all of our permanents with the Ghostly Flicker instead, and that's it. That's game. So I'm fine with conceding here because our opponent's at 21 life. We haven't really caused much of a dent here. It's unfortunate that we had to end on Tron. Tron is a bit of a bad boy of the format, a bit of a bogeyman. But does Risotto counter Tron? I mean, it should. It should definitely. Yeah, I think you're right, Olive Mirth. It should. So what did we learn about Goblins? Well, Goblins is a really fun deck. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm not currently playing tier 1 decks. I'm playing tier 1 or tier 2 and down. So Goblins, I would put at like tier 3 or 4. Like, it's not particularly incredible. It's not particularly powerful unless you know the deck. If you know the deck really, really well, like the creator of this deck did, that 5-0'd the league there recently, you can absolutely take leagues down and beat things like Tron. I have not played this deck in about 6 months, and even then, that time I played it once, so I'd lost that game, so it's not a good indicator. But it is really, really sweet. It has some of the best costed aggressive creatures in the entire thing. In the entire format, it makes combat awfully difficult for people with the Goblin Sledders and what's the other one called? Mog Raiders. And the fact that Goblin Grenade is legal now and is only now making goblins playable is saying a lot, really. Sparksmith is fantastic. It's incredible. Matron is just a really cool catch-all thing. You might be able to just use this deck to go maybe a little bit bigger and try and get some card advantage. Card advantage using Matrons. Possibly. You could look into it that side of things. Maybe splash black and lean into like a bit more of the sacrifice outlet kind of job. Maybe do like a red-black aristocrats / goblins kind of thing. That might be cool too. But that is it for this deck. One of the next decks that I'll be running will either be There'd be a couple of different ones that are going to be potential. There's Mono Green Ponza is an option. Mono Blue Desert Control is another one that I'm looking forward to trying out. And then I've also got a Mono Green Infect deck as well that I want to try. But that is going to be it for myself for today. If you missed any of this, you can jump over to youtube.com/c/Savantier. That's the actual full URL. But you can find the URL over on my Twitter @Savantier over there. If you're not yet following. If you're not yet following or subscribing or being a patron or anything like that, if you want to do that too and help us out during this hard time, it's greatly appreciated too. I'm hoping to do some more Pauper content over the next few days/weeks, and I hope you stick around for it. Thanks everybody for coming along, and until next time, whoa, where's my face? There it is. Thanks everybody, and until next time, take it easy and keep on janking.